People always ask me, do I need to hold on to my threads when I start to sew? And here is the answer for any mechanical sewing machine. So we're working on the Singer Heavy Duty 4452 sewing machine today, and it is a valid question because if you've seen maybe your grandma start off sewing, you see that she holds onto these threads and she lowers the presser foot, and she'll often say, well, if I don't hold on to them, the thread comes out of the needle, and that is a true statement. But I'm going to show you why that happens and how you don't have to hold on to your threads when you start to sew. So first off, I will mention that you do need to slide fabric in far enough that when you lower the presser foot, you can see that the needle is going to land in the fabric. Now, if you don't push it in all the way and you can see that the needle is going to land in air before the fabric, yeah, you might have to hold those threads. But as long as your fabric is first underneath the needle for its very first stitch, and the fact that the take-up lever, this is the answer, is at the highest position. And I'll show you how to make sure that it's always at the highest position when you start to sew. So first off, I'm going to just leave my threads not touched. We're just on a regular straight stitch, center needle position, a 0 width, because we don't need any width, and we're just going to sew. You notice that the threads don't even move when I start to sew. Now here's the key. When you're done sewing, now right now, and it just happened to happen, I would have moved it to this position if it hadn't stopped here, but right now the needle is actually at a nice up position, but where is the take-up lever? It is not here. I remember being taught at a very young age that if I just reach over to my hand wheel and finish the stitch, and that's what we're doing, is we're bringing, you can kind of see that starting to come all the way up to the top, and that is where the end of the actual stitch is. Now when we take our fabric out, cut our thread, when we start again, and this is why we don't have to hold the threads, is because we finished the last stitch. So if you do pull it out without this at the top, what's actually happening is the last part of a stitch is actually pulling the thread from being linked down below with the bobbin area, and it actually is what pulling the thread out of the needle, because the thread's actually going backwards. I know it sounds weird, but it is. And that's why Grandma used to hold on to these threads for dear life, and she prevented the problem of the thread coming out of the needle. So if you just do it the way a sewing machine is meant to be used, stopping with your needle at the highest position and the take-up lever at the highest position, you will eliminate about 80% of your problems when you go to start sewing on this particular machine.